Hey everyone, this is Cynthia, psychic and astrologer. So today we're going to be discussing the preview for July 2022. So let's get started. So one of the things that I did want to bring up is all right. So the first part is going to be that we're going to have a full moon in Capricorn on July 13th. So this is actually going to be a very interesting um, full moon. Part of the reason is because we're definitely going to be having some oppositions going on. Some the oppositions that are going to be with Mercury, obviously with the Sun. It's kind of interesting because as much as we have some oppositions, we also have some very, very great connections with Pluto and with Uranus, with Venus and Saturn. And that all is a great sign of consistency and stability and security. So, the one opposition, you may not really feel too much energy out of it. Besides that, it could create some kind of conflict or conflicting kind of way of looking at things. So, take for instance, two job offers and you have to kind of decide which one you want to take. One might need to take you away from the current place that you live at, but the money's great, or another part where maybe you have to make some changes in your living arrangements, but maybe the options that you have aren't the best, but it saves you money. So I feel like you're going to find yourself kind of maybe being pulled in a couple different directions. And so there's definitely going to be this having to kind of make some form of decision there. It could also even relate to relationships too. So then we're also going to have a new moon in Leo on July 28th. So this is actually going to be a very, very great new moon. It's going to connect very well with Jupiter. So it's definitely going to bring about great opportunities there. Now, the negative that I do not like is that we are going to start having a Jupiter retrograde on July 28th. So, whenever we deal with a retrograde with Jupiter, Jupiter is a very optimistic, upbeat, positive, brings you something kind of energy. So, when it starts to retrograde, not saying that it's going to take that away, but maybe the opportunities aren't really going to be standing out as much, or the benefits or the money isn't going to be there as much, especially if you're pursuing a new job or career path. Now, what it will create is a greater stability and a foundation for you to take things a little bit more cautiously and not just jump in and take big risks. Jupiter, when it's full speed, it loves to take risks. So when it's slow down, it's just making you slow down to kind of think things a little bit more cautiously and carefully. And there's nothing wrong with that. So maybe for once, it's just making you kind of, look at things a little bit more carefully, read in between the lines. Don't just jump to take those risks and not know what's going to be on the other side. So we also are starting a Saturn retrograde. So these two planets, like I said, are just creating that more stable foundation to just not take great risk and just be more cautious. So one of the things that I do like is that besides with the new moon and the full moon that are going to bring a lot of great energy, we are going to be seeing Mars going into the sign of Taurus. So if you haven't already found out with all these energies, these planets with Taurus, Uranus, Venus, and so forth, Taurus it loves to think more about the long term, to invest in the now to gain for the long term. And a lot of this does relate with finances and financial opportunities and obligations and so forth. So you may be starting to think more about the long term financially. If you have to take another job to make more money, change jobs, pursue a new career path, uh, that could bring you more money. Um, one of the actually, there's a few days that I do like, just in general that I think you're going to enjoy, which would be July 2nd, July 8th, and July 10th. And These are days that opportunities can really present themselves. Um, I'm not sure offhand what day it falls, but any of these days, give or take like 2 days before, 2 days after, could bring opportunities, like I said, for a financial, business, career opportunity or transaction. So the energy is actually going to be quite active for July. And I think it's just going to be kind of getting you ready for more things to come. Some changes that are going to be there, I think it's just going to put you in a position to really start looking at things a little bit more cautiously and going over more, like I said, reading between the lines than just taking those great risks. Now, for the month of August, we're going to start where Mars is going to be entering the sign of Gemini. And then in October, we begin the retrograde cycle for Mars and Gemini. If you haven't already checked out from my yearly horoscopes or just when I have posted other videos about Mars and Gemini, just be prepared. It's going to be quite an interesting time there, and I'll discuss more of it next month. So for right now, just kind of be prepared and be expecting a lot of great energy, lots of activity, and just kind of look forward to. There's definitely going to be a lot for you to take on. I think a big part of it is going to be related with financial, career, investments, thinking about the future, thinking about the long term. And I think it's just going to help you to kind of look at things a lot more carefully and cautiously. I will be posting the July horoscopes on July 1st on my horoscope on my website, thepsychicone.com. So just be aware there's going to be a lot going on here soon.